I'm gonna be 100% honest, I didn't actually understand what this capture card was, its niche feature, its main shtick, or what made it special. I just thought, oh, AverMedia just released a $200 capture card and wants to send it out. But this capture card answers a very specific problem, solves a very specific problem, and there's a few handheld devices that would benefit that this pairs with so nicely. This is the jelly to its peanut butter, the cream to its coffee, the cream to my, this is a really good capture card. Not so much in the typical formula of connecting it to a full-size console and then into a laptop, but more so for handheld devices like tablets, the Switch, and the way I've been using it, my handheld PCs like the Steam Deck and ROG Ally. This captures gameplay while charging the PC and working as a dock for devices like a controller, keyboard, mouse, things with a dongle. So you're getting high-speed charging, so you're actually increasing in battery life while you're playing, because if you just try and use a standard USB-C cable and a little brick you found in Nana's top drawer next to that weird looking silver lightsaber, you're actually going to be losing battery life while plugged in and playing with those handheld PCs. But with this little sucker right here, you're getting 65-watt fast charging, but it's also working as a hub for USB devices, and most importantly, the main pièce de résistance, a capture card that actually captures very high quality gameplay. Let's take a look at the $200 Xtra Go from AverMedia. Basically, it's a Switch and handheld PC dock / capture card. That's the best way to describe it. A quick disclaimer for my audience, the Stallions and Stallionettes. This capture card, almost said controller, this capture card was sent for review, but this is going to be an honest, comprehensive review. I haven't been paid to say or not say anything about it. AverMedia doesn't get an early preview, and the thoughts in this video are 100% my own. So if there's any cons, shortcomings, or areas of improvement, you're going to hear about it. So these companies make better products over time.
As for the packaging and included accessories, there is 4 clear wafer stickers that does need sliced to get the outer sleeve off the box, and some of the key notable features, this bottom right is the main one-click recording with an SD card, so you do not need a computer. It's similar to that $400, actually more now, Elgato capture card, which had some setbacks that I wouldn't leave it hooked up to my console, to be honest. That did one-click recording similar to this, and that was my favorite feature of that. Some of the tech specs on the back, if you wanted to pause and read the box, pinch and zoom. I don't know why I got super country with it, but there you go, guys. Lifting the foreskin flap in the front, the box will lift the top with a little diagram showing you what plugs, what cables go where, which is very important. Little QR code. The device itself is the identical shade of white to the rest of the packaging. Really threw my brain for a loop. It almost looked like it was all cardboard. You will have 3 pieces of documentation. This is a quick start guide, which I do recommend you take a look at, although you don't really need it because the top of the box does give you the diagram of where all the cables go. Speaking of cables, I'm assuming this is a 2.0 cable, considering this only has 2.0 pass-through, which makes sense considering this is for handheld devices like the Steam Deck, ROG Ally, Switch. None of those are going to be pushing no 4K 60 footage or anything like that, so you don't need a capture card like that, which you'd usually be using for a PS5 Pro, soon to be out if you're buying one of those $700 things, or an Xbox Series X air purifier cylinder whenever the fuck that comes out. Although it seems like Xbox is gearing away from physical hardware and more towards supporting Game Pass subscription services. If you need help, just like that classic Michael Jordan commercial,
stop it. Get some help.
This is where you can do what that gentleman just mentioned. I guess this is just showing you some of the cool Nito Toledo activities you can do with your new capture card. VTubers and esports, baby! You're also going to have a pretty short 1-foot USB-C cable, rubber, not microfiber or braided, no Velcro tiebacks, just a, little standard cable there. Also, this fell on the floor, and I didn't realize it was part of this review. 90-degree elbow, USB-C to C, just let it be. The actual cosmetics or looks of this capture card, I'm actually not wild about it just because they went with a specific color which might not really go with a lot of people's themes or setups, as opposed to just going all white, black, gray, something neutral.
This is a very important note. There's also a black version for the same price. I'm assuming I requested the white version months ago when they reached out.
Although I will say, if you're using this for a Nintendo Switch, this is kind of a, bright, vibrant Nintendo-y color. And you saw that diagram earlier showing you all the ports and plugs, but I did want to note on the side over here, this is very important. This is your micro micro SD card slot, which you're going to be using if you are going to be trying to capture clips directly to this device, which makes it super simple. You can then pop it into a little micro stick converter adapter. One of those will be linked in the description below, because a lot of computers don't have a micro SD card slot, and then you're able to upload your high quality footage to slap on YouTube or do whatever you please with it. The device itself does feel a little bit cheap, the plastics used, but it's a $200 device that does 3 things in one, so I'm not going to bash it for having some plastics that don't feel supremely premium or anything like that. I have my first casual complaint or note for the next version or iteration. The USB ports are right on top of each other, so if you are plugging in a dongle or a wired device that has a large plastic housing, then they're just going to bump into each other and you're not going to have clearance or fitment or be able to actually use both of those ports. I'm okay. I just barely make clearance with both of my dongles, my dong-dongs clear with each other, or else, yeah, this would be a problem. And another note, those USB-C ports that are a little too close together for my liking are fast as fuck at 3.2 Gen 1. I mean, you could tell they're USB 3 plastic and there is blue. No sleazy electronics that I've tested have had USB 2 ports that have with blue plastic to fool the customer. And you technically only need this USB-C port on the left to make connection to a tablet or handheld PC like the Steam Deck over here. This one is going to be for PDP fast charging, which if you're going to use this as a dock, you're definitely going to want both of these plugged up so you're getting juice to your device. And this one is completely optional. For me personally, this is the USB port that'll never get used because I wouldn't really recommend this particular capture card for PlayStation and Xbox, but definitely for Switch and handheld PCs and tablets. And this is the port that you would use to connect to a PC, laptop, or desktop. But if you're using this dock, the whole point of it is that you don't need a computer. Unfortunately, if you do have a carrying case on your Steam Deck, which I know a lot of users do because it makes it way more ergonomically comfortable to hold and also gives it protection in the case of a drop, you are going to have to remove that because this is kind of more designed for a Switch, which is a real thin device. So one of these honking handheld PCs don't really fit with this carrying case. So it fits in there without the carrying case, but I don't really like the fitment. I do believe it's a lot more snug and secure feeling, like it's designed for the Switch when you're using that device, as where something like the Steam Deck. As you can see, there's an additional trough down there, and the Steam Deck seems like a bit of an afterthought or a second-class citizen here. Like, there's definitely docks specifically for the Steam Deck where fitment is so much better, but I'm not going to complain because this device does a lot of other shit. One thing I am going to complain about is if I'm going to have it on top of this Atari, it's going to fuck up the looks cosmetically because of the coloring. Might have to take it to the garage and black it out with a little spray paint. So this is my configuration all plugged up and ready to go. These 3.1 ports have my mouse and keyboard. HDMI 2.0 port going to that TV. This is for PDP fast charging, and this cable, which currently isn't connected, is going to connect to the deck. You're probably going to have to uncoil this USB-C cord with the 90-degree elbows because it was coiled up in a weird way to where I couldn't really plug this in any comfortable way. Not comfortable for me, not for the device. When you plug up your device, that status bar is going to flash a couple of times. There you go. And then on the top, you will see that you are now charging. Now on the first gen Steam Deck, that just is a white LED light, but now it changes color on the OLED. That's the whole reason I upgraded to the OLED was that LED light. Oh, you hardly ever see this angle of the room because I hardly ever use this TV. It is technically hooked up as a third monitor to the PC, and then it also has a second HDMI cable, which runs to the back of the desk here if I ever want to run a retro console with an adapter, of course, because they didn't support HDMI. But there is a TV right in front of me, and this is the exact purpose of it, is for shit like this. Keyboard, mouse, Steam Deck, monitor. Working as a PC. Hardly ever use it docked because it's a Steam Deck. It doesn't really have that much horsepower. It's perfect for a handheld experience. Now, AverMedia has really simplified the process of recording, and in order to start recording, you are just going to press this little space bar. So that toggle is supposed to be to the left for capture and to the right to use it as a media or storage device to see what's on it. That light is searing into my soul from the back, so I'm gonna cut it. Oh my god, those graphics! It's on the Steam Deck. God damn. How's the glare situation right now? Pretty crispy. Joel fine ass room. Oh, god damn, it just tripped. Blew my shit out. Oh, that did not do the trick. She does not want to record. You got a brightness setting. Oh man, I can't even imagine trying to play Uncharted on keyboard and mouse, which I know there is a PC port, 2 of the mini Uncharted games. Okay, yeah. This is a game that is designed for controller, like Crash, Spyro, a racing game if you don't have a sim wheel. Many things that I wouldn't want to be on the old Rewa's keys for. Now, first person shooter at the PC, abso-fucking-lutely, I'll grab me a mouse. Like I'm about to grab that little pistol. What?
Should the guy?
What the fuck? There he is. So upon further educating myself, lights correlating to the LED status bar. So red is not good, basically. That's because I had formatted my microSD card in TFS. It doesn't specify, but go exFAT, which is usually the default. Now your SD card is gonna go logo side up. Now that it's blue, it is ready for capture. So let's give Nathan another chance. See how long it takes to actually cast an image up to there. It's not too bad. You saw that in real time from booting up a Steam Deck OLED to cast an image. I guess that's typical dock fanfare. Again, I don't usually dock my deck because it's a Steam Deck. So now if all the stars align when I press this button, boom, I am now recording. And as you can see, since that's all done, all the encoding, the processing is done on board the AverMedia capture card. It doesn't jank up my gameplay on what is already a pretty underpowered device, the Steam Deck. It's not really blowing any socks back or anything. But as you can see, it's not chugging because it's recording or anything like that. I'm a freak. Oh, a little stutter there, but probably because we're playing a AAA title on a Steam Deck. And to cancel recording, you're gonna press the button again. We're good to go. I'm gonna remove that SD card, take a look at the footage. Couple of cosmetic notes. Again, I'm gonna be painting this or wrapping it or doing something for my setup personally. 2, this loosey-goosey cable here, I'm gonna be tucking it back. Taking a look at that footage. Oh, you can't hear the game sound, there we go. Had it muted for y'all out of the audio source over there. Okay, it's a little bit of haze and pixelation, but that's just because I'm in a VLC media player here. Let me bring it into my editing software. My PC likes when I have OBS screen capturing at 1440/60 and then also start editing as well. A lesser of a PC would start sweating right about now. Project Zero doesn't give a fuck. Let's drag that bad boy in. Why do we have 2 windows? A little viewing experience. There was that little stutter that happened in gameplay. That wasn't just in the gameplay recording that happened. So capturing the Steam overlay with the FPS, that little snippet of gameplay isn't enough, goddammit. Pour in a little clip it from the homeboy Epos Vox, who did a much more comprehensive Digital Foundry style split screen breakdown between in-game capture on the Nintendo Switch when you hit the little gameplay capture button. It does suffer from a lot of compression and whatnot. And then you have the Steam in-game overlay, which I personally never use because I find it to be a little heavy when you're using it in combination with something like OBS already screen capturing. Then you've got Discord trying to also screen capture, NVIDIA GeForce highlights. You got to turn all that shit off. Where was I going with this? Completely lost my train of thought. Chugga, 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 chugga. Lost. Fuck. But the quality is even better than the Steam in-game overlay capture, which is a feature that I don't ever use. But if you do, this capture card will capture better quality than that. There is also a software program, which I'm not going to do a tour walkthrough because I personally don't recommend this capture card to my audience. If you are going to be stationary, you're going to be next to a laptop or desktop, and you are trying to capture a PlayStation 5 or Xbox. Particular capture card is perfect for Switch, Steam Deck, and tablets. But if you're trying to run this into OBS, it's actually compressing the video and audio, unlike other capture cards, which just give you a lossless pass-through. So you're going to get increased latency through the preview window and also some other jank in your capture. You're still capped at 1080p 60. And you're missing things like VRR, variable refresh rate, HDMI 2.1, and being able to see 4K 120 pass-through like some of the high-end capture cards that I've reviewed from Elgato and even AverMedia. But this particular card is really geared towards mobile devices. Now, the quality isn't going to be on par other high-end capture cards that are specifically for the current gen consoles and PCs. However, none of them hold a candle to this device because none of them do what this device can do.
You can't do what I do.
It's a dock that also captures rock solid gameplay for handheld devices. This is a tremendously awesome product. I'm glad it exists, that it's very unique. And if you own a Switch or Steam Deck, ROG Ally, Legion Go, any of the handheld PCs, and you're trying to capture solid gameplay in a convenient manner where you just reach over, hit that little keyboard button, that little space bar there, feels like a little space bar. It just starts recording to an SD card. Love that. You do not need a PC, or you can just take the SD card to your PC later to edit. Very convenient
convenient. This is awesome. Linked in the description below if you want to check it out. Drop in the comment section below what you think of this thing, and I will see you Stallions and Stallionettes tomorrow. Peace. If you enjoyed the video, liking it helps it to get seen by more gamers, so this information will reach and assist them as well. Much like the back of the TV, I've got plugs for all of my socials down there in the description below. And your wallet will greatly thank you if you check the description, because there are exclusive discounts on a ton of products, including controllers, KontrolFreeks, keyboards, mouse pads, clothes, and energy drinks. And keep in mind that you, the viewer, keep this channel running. The more Stallions and Stallionettes trotting around the stable, the better, so mollywop that subscribe button like it owes you money, and we'll have the same amount of fun tomorrow.